virus will end. John Hendrick, Aljazeera, Bayard, Iowa.
Wednesday marks a quarter of a century since the Tiananmen Square student protests in China. Security is being boosted ahead of the anniversary. Some Chinese have already been charged for marking the event in their own homes. And as Al Jazeera's Adrian Brown reports from Beijing, for many Chinese students, Tiananmen Square remains a sensitive subject.
25 years ago, students in China were agitating for political change. An unprecedented display of defiance against the country's communist rulers. But the pro-democracy movement survived just 7 weeks before being suppressed by military force on June the 4th. Now, a quarter of a century on, the events of that time still remain a taboo subject for many of today's students. It's inconvenient for me to talk about this, he says. Generally, I'm neutral, says this man. I'm not on the side of the government or the students. Today's young people are in the throes of another revolution, one of rising expectations. Wang Chen was born a month after the bloodshed. She's come to this careers fair hoping to find a white-collar job with a salary of at least $700 a month.
I know very little about this part of history. One reason is that I'm not interested in politics. The second reason is this event was not mentioned in the history books I read.
Zhongsha Tao was born 3 months before the 1989 protests. Today she manages a shop specializing in skateboarding clothing and accessories. She's aware of the events of 25 years ago, but says they have no relevance to her generation.
25 years ago, what the young people cared about was having enough food and keeping warm, whereas today we want to become stylish and show off our personalities.
Today's students have lived through an era of rapid economic growth. They still have grievances, but know they can't change the political system.
Young students remain away from politics for the sake of protecting their own interests and their own life, because they know the risks attached to getting involved in politics.
China has 10 times as many graduates as it did in 1989, but around a third of them are unemployed because the economy simply isn't producing enough white-collar jobs. And while few of them show any sign of wanting to engage in political activism, that could change as that unemployment rate continues to rise. Adrian Brown, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
Spain's government has announced that the current King Juan